So if you just watched my previous videos about what to do if your clients can't visualize, if not, just check out the video before this. I talked about what to do when utilizing unconscious moments, but I didn't go into it as deeply as I wanted to. So on this video, let's look at utilizing unconscious moments. If you're not familiar with an unconscious moment, it's a term that I coined where the unconscious mind is in full expression. So let me give you the proper definition. So an unconscious moment is the unconscious mind fully expressing itself. It's out to play, guys. It's showing itself. That's how you know the difference between conscious information and unconscious information. It shows as emotions, memories, laughter, sensations in the body, images, spontaneous regressions, spontaneous timelines, organic visualization, trance, depth of trance, anything that's out of the norm that we quote unquote say, well, my client is in hypnosis. This is an unconscious moment. Now, it's one of those things, guys, when you coin a term like this and you start to use it a lot, it's funny. It's not really funny. It's quite frustrating, actually, to see other trainers and other therapists start to talk about this and use this and say that they created this sort of thing and their definition of it has nothing to do with what it really is. To keep it simple, guys, it's the unconscious mind expressing itself. When I'm in a therapy session or I'm doing a demo with my students, anytime I see any of these things, and the list is really long for what I'm looking for, I could hear them. I can hear unconscious moments. I can see unconscious moments. I need to start utilizing these things as a way of therapy. Now, this is where the therapeutic stuff comes into it. The unconscious mind is going to express itself in form of, let's say, a timeline. It's spontaneously my client in their mind floats above their timeline and does whatever they need to do. I need to utilize it. Same with the regression of visualization. As I mentioned in many videos, I never go into a session forcing my clients. Because how would I know what quote unquote technique to use until I know what the real problem is? Because it's all symptom, we know. So an unconscious moment is the unconscious mind fully expressing itself. So what do you do when you see one, guys? Number one, your goal is to enhance it, to utilize it. Whatever you think you've got going on in your mind, like you think, okay, I think this is where the session should go. I think this is what my clients need. No, take a step back. You're just guessing. I'm patient and I can wait for these things to happen naturally. Once I see it, like a tractor beam, I'm on that thing. And that's all I'm going to focus my attention on and my client's attention on. Now, I don't know what that unconscious moment is representing, and I don't need to know. All I need to know is now that my client is having an expression of their unconscious moment that they didn't have 1 minute ago. I need to find out what is this thing about. And it's almost like I'm going to be talking directly to their unconscious. Don't care about the trance, the depth, none of that stuff. If an unconscious moment is happening, your client is quote unquote in a trance. It's not the other way around. So your goal is to enhance it and utilize it. Now you can see these things, you can hear these things, guys. The list is really long. We go through all of this in our live ACH trainings as well. Number two, when you notice it, draw your client's attention to it by asking your client to focus on it or question around it. So if my client after the hypnotic interview or during the hypnotic interview says, oh, Scott, I'm having this really strange memory of when I was 5 years old, I might say something like, interesting. Did you know that was going to happen? That's just a roundabout way of me saying, think about it. I might even be more direct and go, wow, that's interesting. Sit there and consider that for a while. And that's it. Draw their attention to it. I might ask more questions around it and say, well, what does that memory have to do with this? I wonder why that's shown up. Now, these aren't the best example because it's off the top of my head and it's very hard to do this stuff scripted. It's impossible. But in the moment, it's a lot easier because it's natural and you can see the unconscious moment. But ultimately, guys, when you see an unconscious moment, draw your client's attention to it. Okay. Number three, once your client's attention is on it, keep them there. So what can happen is your client starts to try to escape the unconscious moment. So let's say we'll go back to the example I gave you. I say, well, I wonder why that memory showed up. And the client says, I don't know. And they're just sitting there enthralled in it. That's a brilliant place to be. I don't need words. I'm not going to tell them to close their eyes. They're going to sit there for a moment and just consider it and ponder on it. Beautiful place to be. That's where I want to keep them. Then all of a sudden their conscious mind might perk up and go, I know what it's all about. It's this. And it's just a trail of absolute bullshit conscious thought. I'm going to go, no. I don't care about that. What was happening just before that? They go, That's where I want to keep them. We give an example of this in our training. It's like keeping them in the trance room. You've got to be aware that the conscious mind's going to come in and out of the session, regardless of the type of hypnosis you do. It's not like you relax your client enough to keep the conscious mind at bay. It doesn't work like that. That's just a fancy tool that therapists who have no idea about therapy talk about. Doesn't exist. I've got to be aware that if my client tries to escape that unconscious moment with conscious fluff, I've got to ignore all that. Say, no, 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 I don't care about that. What was happening just before? What was that memory about? What was happening when you were smiling? There's those tears again. There you go. And I'm going to focus on that. Okay. I could use some Ericksonian lines when I see those unconscious moments and say, there you go. That's right. You know, we've heard all these before, guys. You want to use these things. Okay. So your goal is to enhance it, draw your client's attention to it. When you see it, that's how you utilize it, enhance it. Once your client's attention's on it, keep them there. A lot of therapists believe that my client has to be talking all the time. No, once they're in that moment, I just like them to sit in there because there is something happening inside their mind. The cogs are turning. I don't need to know what it is. I could question it later if I feel the need to, but I just need to keep them there because that place is where those resources, the aha moments, the tools, the strategies they need to get on with their life, that's where they exist, not with all the conscious fluff. So if they try to escape, guys, pull them back into that trance room. The conversation should then be solely focused on that unconscious moment. Forget about everything else you thought you were going to do. Let your clients sit in that space. Do not rush them. If you've seen my ACH trainings and you've seen the demos we've done, I say the client falls deeply into these unconscious moments. And you'll hear me often say, take your time. Do not rush this. What I'm saying to the unconscious mind is, whatever you're doing, fantastic. Keep doing it. Don't rush it. Don't worry about everyone else watching you on the computer. Don't worry about all the other students who are waiting. Just sit there and you do what you need to do. Now, it's obviously a lot of words for me to say. I would just say something like, do not rush it. And my client tries to escape. She'll say, well, I don't want to do this in front of everybody, or I feel like I'm wasting everybody's time if I'm just sitting here. It's got to go, no, 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 no. Back where you were. When I see them fall into that again, you'll see they're almost like their body language relax, quote unquote, into it. I'd say, there you go. Do not rush this. Every time your client escapes that trance room, they're missing out on the unconscious mind, giving them more resources, more unconscious moments, more insights into what the problem is. Now, sure, clients will want to rush and get out of it. Do not let them. The conversation should be solely focused on that unconscious moment. Let your client sit in that space. If a regression organically forms and they fall into it, use it. Just be aware of our reactions. If imagery appears, use it. If emotions and sensations are felt, use them. Do not force them. Do not, if your client's in this unconscious moment and they're in a really nice place, do not start to do your own regression because you are going to ruin things. You're going to interrupt what their unconscious mind wants to do. If you want to give them a regression, but the unconscious mind knows, and it's smarter than you guys, it's smarter than me, knows that all they have to do is see a visualization of a white rabbit with a top hat, and now you're saying do a regression or have hypnotic phenomena, the unconscious mind will get very frustrated with you. Why? Because you keep interrupting it. And the reason that rabbit is there is meaningful to the client. How would I know to force that on them? So instead, I sit back, relax, and wait for these things to happen. Utilize anything your client gives you. Do not steer the session towards something you want your client to feel or a technique you think is best for them. This is called guessing. The most powerful hypnotic and therapeutic techniques that you could learn, guys, are the ones that your clients create during the focused attention of an unconscious moment. If you want to know the definition of therapy, guys, and to get fast therapeutic breakthroughs, understand unconscious moments. Utilize unconscious moment. Don't for a second steer a session to the way you want them to go. And I say this with a big smile on my face. There's no point learning the regression. You don't need to know these things. You don't need to know the timeline. You don't need to know the visualizations. Your client knows how to do it, when they want to do it, when they have to do it. Why? Because their unconscious mind is in charge. I don't know any of those techniques. I don't feel the need to learn them. Why? Because then it's forcing this brick and mortar technique into something that should be rather fluid and organic. Doesn't work like that. So guys, that's what we do when we see an unconscious moment. Ultimately use them, grow them, enhance them, draw your client's attention to them, keep them there and be patient and wait, because the aha moments and the resources you want your client to have a breakthrough exists in that unconscious moment place, not in all the other stuff you're forcing them through. All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful. See you in the next video. Bye for now.